2010, the IRS scandal is brewing. Let's paint this picture, right? They're plotting. How do we stop conservatives from winning the presidency? We don't want Obama to lose the election. We don't want Romney to win. October 8th of 2010, Jack Smith, who is now the special counsel investigating Trump, was then serving as the chief of the Department of Justice's Criminal Division's Public Integrity Section. Jack Smith, on October 8th of 2010, called a meeting with Lois Lerner, who was head of the IRS. The purpose of this meeting, reportedly, was to discuss how the IRS could assist in the enforcement of criminal statutes relating to campaign finance laws that against politically active nonprofits. This was after the Obama administration had expressed their displeasure at the Supreme Court's ruling on Citizens United. So a whistleblower came forward after this meeting. This whistleblower's name is Richard Pilger, and at the time, he served as the director of the Election Crimes Branch, and he testified to the House Oversight Committee. This is what he testified. He testified that Jack Smith set up this meeting in order to coordinate with Lois Lerner so that Lois Lerner at the IRS could use the IRS to stop conservative groups from obtaining tax-exempt status so that they could not partake, they could not make their voices heard in this election. Jack Smith was specifically named by Richard Pilger. So the House Oversight Committee, again, remember, Lois Lerner resigned after this scandal. She was held in contempt of Congress because she pled the Fifth. She was guilty. The IRS was guilty. We all knew that, but she was caught. The House Oversight Committee sent a letter to the Department of Justice in 2014 because Congress, moves like a dinosaur, and they investigated the entirety of what happened, and this is what they found. According to Mr. Pilger, the Justice Department convened a meeting with former IRS official Lois Lerner in October of 2010 to discuss how the IRS could assist in the criminal enforcement of campaign finance laws against politically active nonprofits. This meeting was arranged at the direction of Public Integrity Section Chief Jack Smith. The House Oversight Committee letter continued and said, "It is apparent that the department's leadership, including Public Integrity Section Chief Jack Smith, was closely involved in engaging with the IRS in wake of Citizens United and political pressure from prominent Democrats to address perceived problems with the decision." Okay, so now let's listen to Jack Smith's own words. In an email that House and Senate investigators were able to obtain, Jack Smith wrote to another member of the Department of Justice, and this is what he said. "This seems egregious to me." He was talking about right-wing nonprofits or tax-exempt groups. He said, "Could we ever charge a conspiracy to violate laws of the USA for misuse of such nonprofits to get around existing campaign finance laws and limits? I know 501s are legal, but if they are knowingly using them beyond what they are allowed to use them for, and we could prove that factually." You don't have to take the House Oversight Committee's word for it. You don't have to take the whistleblower's word for it. You don't have to take Lois Lerner's silence for it. Jack Smith admitted it himself in an email. This was one of the first blatant targeting of conservatives, the federal government being weaponized, the power of the federal government being weaponized by Democrats and aimed at conservative citizens for the crime of conservatives dissenting from a Democrat administration. And Jack Smith was intricately involved in this.